Hey, this is the Review Junkie, and today I'll be reviewing the new raunchy comedy Joyride. As always, my review will be illustrated and the artwork is done by myself. And if you like movies, art, and comic books, please hit that subscribe button because all my reviews are hand-drawn and I like to get to 1,000 subscribers soon so my channel can be official. This movie stars Ashley Park, Stephanie Hsu, Sherry Cola, and I'm not sure if that's her real birth name or not, Sabrina Wu, and Ronnie Chang. It is co-written and directed by Adele Lim in her directorial debut. She previously co-wrote Crazy Rich Asians, but left the sequel due to pay disparity. And if anyone's listening, someone needs to properly compensate her because we're clearly not getting a sequel to that movie. So, this is a non-spoiler review. Everything I discuss will have been shown in the trailer. Absolutely no spoilers. I'll tell you briefly about the plot, the characters, my pros and cons, final thoughts, and if this is worth checking out at your local movie theater. The plot involves two childhood best friends, Audrey and Lolo. They were the only Asian kids in town, and because they were the only ones, they bonded and have become BFFs for life, and Audrey's character was adopted. So fast forward, they're all grown up, and Audrey's a very successful lawyer making tons of money. And you know it must be so close to seven figures, so her direct deposits must be off the charts. Lolo, on the other hand, hasn't had that much luck, to put it nicely. She works at a fast food Chinese restaurant where they serve four-piece chicken wings and pork fried rice, along with French fries, where the chicken wings are fried hard. Okay. You know what I mean. We've all been there and had those deep fried food cravings. So Audrey has a business deal to complete in China, and two other friends, Deadeye and Cat, tag along for the adventure. And while they're there, Lolo suggests that Audrey find her real birth mother. And so the road trip starts and the crazy unexpected antics from uncharted territory begins. Alright, the trailer was funny and I couldn't wait to see this. Road trips and raunchy comedies are one of my favorite genres. And to be honest, we've seen this before. This is sort of the Asian version remake of Bridesmaids, The Hangover, Rough Night, and Girls Trip with Tiffany Haddish. The movie is fast-paced, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but its pacing goes by where you never find yourself bored because something interesting is always happening. This is an easy watch, and the 90 minutes flies by nicely. So I really enjoyed this one and had a good time, and I haven't laughed like this in a while. If you're thinking this is about people who play the violin and piano and get hundreds on all their math and science tests and never missed a day of school in their entire life, then this is not for you because that's not what it's about. This is not about ideal Asian minorities in the US being good citizens. This is about Asian characters with quick wit, tons of personality and sass. Okay, this is a raunchy comedy at the highest tier, and after seeing this, it made me realize how tame No Hard Feelings was, and feel free to check out my review of that as well on my channel. So, I love that road trip plots can lend themselves to so many gags and antics, and this script took full advantage of that. It's one raunchy gag and skit after another. The approach was clearly, how do we outdo the last scene? How can we amp this up? I was here for it, and I was eager to see what hot mess the girls would get into next, and it didn't disappoint. The trailer does show a lot of the funny bits, but there's also a lot that wasn't shown. The humor is off the cuff, colorful dialogue, and heavily drenched in sexual innuendos and double entendres, and a lot of Asian racially laced observations. There are a lot of vagina and penis talk for shock value. There's also one really good bit in the second act at the hotel, and it's a sexually based scenario, which is very funny. There's a lot going on, and I like how that scene climaxed. There's also this running gag about a tattoo, and it gets revealed at some point, and that was crazy to say the least. Now, all the actors were great and very funny, but the standout to me was Stephanie. She has that natural comedic funny bone in from the way she moves to her facial expressions. She just has great comedic timing, and it worked. Lolo and Deadeye had their moments too. Some landed and some didn't, and this whole time I thought her name was Jedi, like Obi-Wan. Anyways, those two didn't seem as natural, and Audrey is the least funny of the group. She's the cold lawyer, and that's what she got hired to do, and that's what she gave us. Ronnie is also really good, but this is the one time where I thought he was underutilized. It's such a shame he didn't have more scenes because he added so much, and it's ironic that he was overused in Megan and underused here. Like, what are the odds? Next, I like their relationships here. They were convincing and they all seemed like they would ride or die for each other. And the dialogue was rather rich because I think most people say crazy things with their close friends. It's not always civil and proper, or else it would just be boring. There were also some unexpected moments in the third act where they injected some heart into the story, which I liked. There's also a reveal, and I kind of sensed it but didn't know if it would get addressed, and I want to stay spoiler free, but I had a feeling there was something wrong and it gets cleared up, which I appreciated. And I don't like using the word authentic, but they try to be as true to the characters as possible. So I don't really have any cons for this movie, but I felt some of the quieter moments with character interactions and things were just calm were great. And it would have been nice if some of those scenes were extended or there were more of them, or even having certain shots just linger for a moment longer can make a difference. You know, there were predictable parts you could see coming from a mile away, and the big third act monologue doesn't really bring out the waterworks like it should have. If there is an unrated extended director's cut, I would buy that Blu-ray in a heartbeat. So this brings me to my final thoughts, and this gets a solid 8 out of 10 from me. It's a very entertaining road trip movie with raunchy humor. It's a good summer popcorn, brainless fun, and it's great just to see a diverse cast. And not only are we seeing girls be raunchy, but it's Asian actresses being raunchy and getting a chance to flex their comedic chops. The director did a great job in her feature debut, and the entire cast brings their A game to make a recycled road trip plot feel fresh and now. And it's those Asian flourishes and references that make it unique, and I hope we get a sequel. I'm seeing this for a second and third time so I can catch everything I missed because everything goes a mile a minute. And I would suggest you see this in the most crowded theater possible to get the full experience. So this is a big green light from me, and definitely something to check out on the big screen where it's meant to be seen. So support your local movie theaters and check this out. And thank you again for checking out my review. If you like, please subscribe, helps the channel out a lot. Hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share this with your friends. And if you happen to have a movie you'd like me to review, please let me know. I'd be happy to watch and illustrate it for a future video. Thanks again, and I hope the pictures put a smile on your face.